Your soulmate had already made the decision. No more looking back. No more reopening old wounds. No more asking why the person they once loved with everything inside them had somehow become the person they were told to forget. They had packed away the memories, silenced the questions, and convinced themselves that walking away forever was the only way to survive. But just as they were about to leave, their mother said your name. And in that instant, everything inside them stopped. Because she did not say your name casually. She said it with tears in her eyes, fear in her voice, and the kind of guilt that only comes from carrying a secret for far too long. Your soulmate turned around slowly, frozen by the sound of the one name they had spent years trying not to react to. And what their mother revealed next was not simply a family secret. It was the truth that completely destroyed the story your soulmate had been told about you. Listen carefully. Because the reason your soulmate almost disappeared from your life forever was never what they believed it was. For years, your soulmate had been living with one painful conclusion, that you had chosen to let them go. They believed you had stopped fighting. They believed that when pressure came, you simply stepped away. Every unanswered question became evidence. Every period of silence became proof. Every lonely night strengthened the belief that if you had truly wanted them, somehow you would have found a way back. And that belief hurt more than the separation itself. Because losing someone is painful. But believing the person you loved willingly abandoned you creates a completely different kind of wound. Your soulmate had carried that wound quietly. They built walls around it. They pretended they no longer cared. They avoided conversations where your name might appear. They changed the subject whenever someone mentioned the past. They even became angry at themselves for still wondering where you were, how you were doing, and whether you ever remembered the promises that once felt impossible to break. But the truth was that they remembered everything. The way you looked at them when nobody else was watching. The conversations that stretched late into the night. The plans you made when both of you believed love would be enough to overcome anything. The little promises. The private jokes. The moments nobody else understood. And especially the final days before everything suddenly changed. There had always been something about that ending that did not make sense. Too many things happened too quickly. Too many people suddenly had opinions. Too many warnings appeared from nowhere. Messages changed. Conversations became confusing. People who had once supported the relationship suddenly began insisting that it could never work. And somehow, at the center of all that confusion, you and your soulmate stopped hearing each other clearly. Your soulmate thought you had changed. You may have thought they had changed. But someone else had been shaping the story from the shadows. Your soulmate did not know that. Not until today. They were standing near the door when their mother finally broke. Your soulmate had come to say goodbye before leaving for what they believed would be a completely new chapter. They were exhausted from carrying the past. They told their mother they were finished revisiting old memories. I cannot keep living between what happened and what might have happened. Their voice was calm. Almost too calm. The kind of calm that comes when someone has cried so much internally that nothing remains on the surface. Their mother watched them reach for the door. And something inside her collapsed. She knew that if she allowed her child to walk away now, the truth might disappear forever. So she said your name. Your soulmate's hand stopped on the door. The room became silent. They did not turn around immediately. Their mother said your name again. This time her voice broke. Your soulmate finally looked back. What did you just say? Their mother could barely meet their eyes. And then came the sentence your soulmate never expected to hear. They never left you willingly. Your soulmate stared at her. For a few seconds, they genuinely did not understand. What are you talking about? Their mother started crying. Not gentle tears. The kind of tears that come from years of regret suddenly becoming impossible to hide. She told your soulmate there were things that happened during your separation that they had never been told. Conversations had taken place behind their back. Someone had interfered. Someone had convinced members of the family that keeping the two of you apart was necessary. And worse, important information meant for your soulmate had never reached them. Your soulmate's expression changed instantly. What information? Their mother looked away. That was the moment fear replaced confusion. Because your soulmate could see it. Their mother knew something specific. Something serious. Something she had hidden. They stepped away from the door. What did you keep from me? Their mother whispered, a message. Your soulmate went completely still. What message? She told them that after everything began falling apart, you had tried to reach them. Not once. More than once. You had tried to explain what was happening. You had tried to tell them that certain things being said about you were not true. You had tried to ask for one final conversation before any permanent decision was made, but somebody convinced the family that allowing that conversation would only make things worse. So the message disappeared. Your soulmate's face lost all color. Because this one detail challenged years of pain. Years of believing you had never tried. Years of telling themselves they meant less to you than they thought. Years of carrying resentment towards someone who may have been fighting for them the entire time. They looked at their mother and asked the question she had feared for years. Did you know? Her silence answered before her words did. Your soulmate stepped backward. Their eyes filled. You knew they tried to contact me? Their mother nodded. The room suddenly felt too small. Your soulmate shook their head. No. No, you told me they were done with me. Their mother covered her mouth as she cried. I believed I was protecting you. Those words changed everything. Your soulmate's pain immediately turned into anger. Protecting me from what? their mother explained that someone close to the family had brought information about you. Claims, warnings, predictions about what would happen if the relationship continued. She had believed those warnings. She had been afraid your soulmate would get hurt. So instead of allowing your soulmate to make their own decision, she helped close the door, but years later, she discovered something devastating. The information had been manipulated. Parts of it were false. Other parts had been deliberately exaggerated. And the person who pushed hardest to separate you had a reason nobody understood at the time. Your soulmate whispered, "Who?" Their mother could not answer. Not yet. Instead, she walked toward an old cabinet and opened a drawer your soulmate had seen hundreds of times. From the back, beneath papers that had not been touched in years, she removed a small envelope. Your soulmate recognized the handwriting before it was even fully visible. Their breathing changed. Because your name was written across the front. Their mother placed it on the table. This should have reached you years ago. Your soulmate stared at it like it was something alive. Their hands trembled as they picked it up. For years, they had imagined what they would say if they ever learned you had tried to come back. Now the proof was sitting between their fingers. They looked at their mother with tears running down their face. "You let me believe they abandoned me." Their mother could not defend herself anymore. "I was wrong." Those 3 words broke something open inside your soulmate. Because suddenly all those years had a different meaning. Maybe you had not forgotten. Maybe you had not chosen someone else. Maybe you had not walked away peacefully while they suffered. Maybe you had been suffering too. Your soulmate opened the envelope. Inside was a letter. The paper had aged. But the words were still there. And the first few lines were enough to make your soulmate sit down. Because you had written that you did not understand why everyone was suddenly standing between the two of you. You had written that you were being blamed for things you had never said. You had written that before your soulmate believed anyone else, you wanted them to hear the truth directly from you. And then your soulmate reached one sentence that shattered them. You had written that if they personally told you they no longer wanted the relationship, you would accept it. But you refused to believe that silence from other people represented their heart. Your soulmate covered their face. All those years. All that anger. All those nights convincing themselves that you had been the one who gave up. And now they were holding proof that the final goodbye may never have truly come from either of you. Their mother sat beside them. But your soulmate moved away. Not because they hated her. Because they could not process the weight of what had been stolen. Time. Trust. Choices. Possibilities. Years that could never be returned. Then your soulmate noticed something else inside the envelope. A second folded piece of paper. Different handwriting. Different date. Their mother immediately reached toward it. "Please. Don't." Your soulmate looked at her. And that reaction told them everything they needed to know. There was still more. Much more. They unfolded the second page. Their eyes moved across the first line. Then the second. Then they stopped. Their expression completely changed. Because written on that page was the name of the person who had originally convinced the family to keep you away. And beside that name was a confession your soulmate had never been meant to see. Your soulmate slowly looked at their mother. Is this true? She began crying again. But this time your soulmate did not wait for an explanation. They grabbed the letter, stepped away from the door they had been seconds away from walking through forever, and said something nobody in that family expected to hear. If this is true, then I need to find them. But their mother suddenly stood up. No. Before you go looking for them, there is one final thing you need to know. Your soulmate froze again. Because whatever she was about to reveal was clearly even bigger than the hidden letter. And when she finally said the first sentence, your soulmate realized the separation between you and them had never been an accident at all. Their mother stood between your soulmate and the door, trembling so badly that she had to hold the edge of the table just to keep herself steady. The letter was still clutched tightly in your soulmate's hand. Tears were still fresh on their face. But now there was something stronger than heartbreak rising inside them, anger. Not the kind that explodes immediately, but the kind that becomes terrifying because it has spent years sleeping beneath unanswered questions. Their mother looked directly into their eyes and whispered, "The separation was planned before either of you even knew there was a problem." Your soulmate stopped breathing for a second. What? Their mother closed her eyes. I should have told you a long time ago. No, your soulmate said, their voice beginning to shake. You should have never hidden it. Their mother lowered her head. Your soulmate unfolded the second piece of paper again. There was a name written there. A person they knew. A person who had once sat inside their home, eaten at their table, smiled in their face, and pretended to care about their future. Someone your soulmate had trusted. Someone who had repeatedly told them that you were not good enough. Someone who had always seemed strangely certain that the relationship would eventually fail. Your soulmate stared at the name. Memories immediately began connecting. Comments that once seemed harmless. Questions that always created doubt. Warnings that appeared whenever the two of you became closer. Private conversations. Sudden misunderstandings. Moments when your soulmate had been told that you said something hurtful, even though they never heard those words directly from you. It all began making sense. And that realization hurt even more. Because betrayal from a stranger is painful. Betrayal from someone you trusted with your heart is devastating. Your soulmate looked at their mother. Why? Their mother wiped her face. She believed you were about to make a decision that would separate you from this family. Your soulmate stared at her. What decision? Their mother hesitated. That hesitation made your soulmate angry. Stop protecting secrets. Their voice echoed through the room. Every time someone decided I couldn't handle the truth, I lost another piece of my life. So stop deciding for me. Tell me everything. Their mother broke down. She explained that years ago, the family believed your relationship with you was becoming too serious. They realized your soulmate was no longer treating it like a temporary romance. Your soulmate had started talking about a future, a home, commitment, possibly marriage. And that terrified certain people. Not because you had done anything wrong, but because your soulmate was becoming strong enough to make their own decisions. There were family expectations already placed upon them. Promises had been made behind closed doors. Plans existed that your soulmate knew nothing about. And your relationship threatened those plans. Your soulmate's eyes narrowed. What plans? Their mother could barely say it. There was another marriage being discussed. Silence. Complete silence. Your soulmate looked as if the floor had disappeared beneath them. What did you say? Their mother admitted that certain members of the family had already been speaking with another family. Nothing had been officially announced. Your soulmate had never agreed. But people had begun making decisions anyway. They believed the other connection would bring security, status, approval, family cooperation. Everything looked perfect on paper. Except for one problem. Your soulmate loved you. And as long as you were in their heart, they would never willingly accept the future others had chosen. So someone decided removing you was easier than changing the family's plan. Your soulmate backed away in disbelief. You destroyed my relationship because somebody had already decided who I was supposed to marry? Their mother immediately cried. I didn't understand how far they were going to take it. But you helped them. The words landed like a slap. Their mother had no answer. Your soulmate looked at the old letter again. Then at the name. Then back at their mother. How did they do it? Their mother finally revealed the method. It started slowly. Someone began carrying messages between you and your soulmate. But those messages were not always delivered correctly. A sentence would be changed. A detail would disappear. A loving message would arrive sounding cold. A concerned question would be repeated as an accusation. And little by little, both sides were being taught to misunderstand each other. Whenever you tried harder, someone told your soulmate you were becoming controlling. Whenever your soulmate became emotional, someone told you they were already moving on. When you asked to meet, your soulmate was told you had changed your mind. When your soulmate waited for you, you were told they did not want to see you. Two people were standing only one conversation away from fixing everything. Yet someone kept making sure that conversation never happened. Your soulmate's eyes filled with tears again. Because suddenly they remembered one particular night. A night they had waited for you. They had believed you promised to come. Hours passed. You never appeared. That was the night your soulmate decided you no longer cared. That was the night something inside them hardened. They whispered, that night. Their mother knew immediately what they meant. She nodded. Your soulmate stared at her. Were they coming? Their mother began sobbing. Your soulmate stepped closer. Were they coming? Yes. One word. One devastating word. Your soulmate covered their mouth. Their knees nearly gave way. Because that night had shaped everything that followed. They had waited near the window. Checked their phone repeatedly. Looked outside every time a car slowed down. And when you never appeared, they cried until morning. The next day they decided they would never chase someone who could make them feel that unwanted again. But now their mother was telling them you had intended to come. Your soulmate whispered, then why didn't they? Their mother looked toward the table. Because someone called them before they reached you. Who? The same person whose name was written on the page. Your soulmate felt their stomach turn. What did they say? Their mother resisted. Your soulmate slammed the letter onto the table. Tell me. The confession finally came. You had been told that your soulmate had changed their mind. That they were embarrassed by the relationship. That the family had convinced them to move forward with someone else. And worst of all, you had been told that if you truly cared, you should disappear and stop making your soulmate's life harder. Your soulmate started crying openly. No. Their mother nodded. You were told that coming here would humiliate them. No. You were told they didn't want to see you. Stop. And they believed it because the message came from someone they thought they could trust. Your soulmate turned away. The pain was becoming unbearable. Because they had spent years believing you stood them up. But you had spent those same years believing your presence was unwanted. Both of you had walked away thinking you were respecting the other person's decision. There had been no real rejection. Only manipulation. Your soulmate pressed both hands against their face. Their mother approached carefully. I'm sorry. Your soulmate immediately turned. Sorry? Their voice was almost unrecognizable. Do you know what I became because of that night? Their mother cried harder. I stopped trusting people. I stopped trusting love. Every time somebody got close, I expected them to disappear because I thought the person I loved most had already done it. Their mother could not look at them. And all this time, your soulmate continued, they may have believed I was the one who sent them away. That realization broke them. Because anger could not protect them from that. They imagined you living through the same years. Wondering what you had done wrong. Wondering why someone who once promised forever suddenly became unreachable. Wondering why nobody gave you the opportunity to explain. And then something else entered your soulmate's mind. A frightening question. If they tried to reach me more than once, what happened to the other messages? Their mother went silent again. Your soulmate noticed. No. Their mother looked terrified. How many? No answer. How many messages did they send? Their mother whispered, there were several. Your soulmate closed their eyes. How many? Letters. Calls. One message delivered through someone else. Your soulmate stared at her. And I received none of them. Their mother shook her head. Something inside your soulmate completely collapsed. This was no longer one misunderstanding. This was systematic. Someone had intentionally made sure you disappeared from their world. Your soulmate walked toward the window, trying to control their breathing. Their mother remained behind them. Then your soulmate asked quietly, did they ever stop trying? Their mother's answer was not immediate. That scared them. Finally she said, there was one final attempt. Your soulmate turned, what attempt? Their mother sat down slowly. It happened months after the separation. Your soulmate approached. What did they do? They came here. Your soulmate froze. Every muscle in their body tightened. They came here? Their mother nodded. In person. The world seemed to disappear. Your soulmate whispered, I was living here. I know. Then why didn't I see them? Their mother's tears returned. Because you weren't told. Your soulmate stared at her as if they no longer recognized the woman standing in front of them. You were home that day, their mother continued. Upstairs. Your soulmate's face changed. A memory began returning. A rainy afternoon. People downstairs speaking quietly. Their mother coming into the room later looking upset. Someone telling them there had been a disagreement involving family matters. Your soulmate had never questioned it. Until now. They were downstairs. Their mother nodded. They stood inside this house. Yes. And nobody told me? No. Your soulmate stepped backward. They could barely process it. You had been only a few walls away. After months of silence. After believing you were unwanted. You had still found enough courage to show up. You had entered the very house where people had been trying to erase you. You had asked for one conversation. And your soulmate had been upstairs, completely unaware. What happened? Their mother looked ashamed. They were asked to leave. Your soulmate's voice dropped. Asked. Their mother did not answer. And that one silence told your soulmate there was more violence in the truth than the word asked suggested. What did they do to them? They were told never to come back. Your soulmate swallowed hard. Who said that? Their mother looked toward the second page. The same name. Again. Your soulmate picked up the confession. Now the handwriting felt poisonous. Their mother continued. But before they left, they gave me something. Your soulmate's entire body went rigid. What? Their mother stood slowly. She walked toward another room. Your soulmate followed. Inside an old storage cabinet was a small wooden box. Their mother opened it. Inside lay something wrapped carefully in cloth. She handed it to your soulmate. Their hands shook as they opened it. And the second they saw what was inside, tears poured down their face. Because it was something they had given you years ago. Something personal. Something that had represented a promise between the two of you. You had not thrown it away. You had not forgotten it. You had carried it back to their home. Their mother whispered, "They told me to give this to you only if you truly wanted them gone." Your soulmate could barely speak. "And you never gave it to me." "No." "Why?" "Because if you had seen it, I knew you would have gone after them." Your soulmate looked at their mother with pure devastation. "So you knew." The words came slowly. "You knew I still loved them." Their mother closed her eyes. "Yes. And you knew they still loved me." Her tears were answer enough. Your soulmate gripped the object against their chest. For the first time, anger disappeared completely. What remained was grief. Grief for two people who had loved each other but were manipulated into believing love had ended. Grief for lost birthdays, lost holidays, lost years, conversations that never happened, apologies that never needed to exist. Your soulmate whispered, "Where are they now?" Their mother hesitated. "I don't know." Your soulmate looked directly at her. "Don't lie to me again." "I'm not." "Then tell me what you do know." Their mother reached into the wooden box. There was one more item beneath the cloth. A small sealed envelope. Different from the others. Much newer. Your soulmate stared at the date. Their heart stopped. Because this letter was not from years ago. It was recent. Very recent. They looked at their mother in disbelief. When did this arrive? Their mother began crying again. 3 days ago. Your soulmate's face went completely blank. 3 days? Yes. You told me they were gone from my life forever. I thought. 3 days ago? Their voice cracked through the room. Their mother nodded. Your soulmate tore open the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was only one page. Very few words. But what was written there caused your soulmate to drop into the nearest chair. Because you had not written to reopen an old argument. You had not written to blame anyone. You had written because something had finally happened that forced the truth back into the open. And at the bottom of that letter was a sentence that made your soulmate look toward the door they had almost walked through forever. A sentence that said you had recently discovered proof that the separation had been arranged, and you were preparing to leave this chapter behind permanently unless your soulmate wanted to hear the truth directly from you. Your soulmate stood instantly. Where was this sent from? Their mother pointed toward the envelope. There was an address. Your soulmate stared at it. They knew the place. And suddenly everything changed. Because you were not somewhere unreachable. You were closer than they imagined. Your soulmate grabbed their keys. But before they reached the door, their mother called their name one final time. There's something about that person you need to know before you confront them. Your soulmate turned. Their mother's face had gone pale. The person who separated you wasn't only trying to protect the other marriage arrangement. Your soulmate narrowed their eyes. Then what did they want? Their mother looked at the confession lying on the table. And what she said next made your soulmate stop cold for the second time that day. They had something to gain if you disappeared from this family. And the proof is inside a document I was never supposed to find. Your soulmate stood completely still, keys still in their hand, while their mother walked back toward the table and slowly pulled open a drawer beneath the old cabinet. Her movements were careful, almost fearful, as if even touching what was inside could bring the entire past crashing into the room. She removed a thin folder, worn at the edges, sealed with a faded strip of tape. Your soulmate stared at it, already knowing this was not another forgotten letter. This was something official. Something people had deliberately hidden. Their mother placed the folder down but kept her hand over it. There are things in here I never understood until recently. Your soulmate's voice was cold. Then move your hand. Their mother looked up. Please understand. No. I have spent years understanding everyone except myself. I understood why the family was afraid. I understood why people thought they knew what was best. I understood why silence might have felt easier than truth. And while I was understanding everyone else, nobody gave me the truth about my own life. Their mother slowly removed her hand. Your soulmate opened the folder. The first page looked ordinary. Dates. Names. Signatures. Old notes. But then they reached the second page. Their expression changed. Because your name was there. Not handwritten. Typed. Officially placed inside an agreement that had been created before the separation became permanent. Your soulmate stared at the line. What is this? Their mother sat down. It was an agreement involving property and family assets. Your soulmate looked at her sharply. What does that have to do with them? Their mother took a painful breath. More than we realized. Years earlier, an older member of the family had intended to divide certain property and financial interests between several people. There had been disagreements for a long time, but nobody discussed those disagreements openly around your soulmate. Everyone pretended everything was peaceful. It was not. Behind closed doors, people were fighting over control. Money, inheritance, property, and influence. Your soulmate continued reading. Then they found a handwritten note beside your name. They read it once, then again. Their hand began trembling. Because according to that note, if your relationship became legally permanent, if you and your soulmate married, certain decisions involving those assets could no longer be made without your soulmate's approval. And someone did not want that. Your soulmate slowly lifted their eyes. So this was never only about who I married. Their mother shook her head. No. They needed me to marry someone they could control. Their mother's silence was enough. Your soulmate laughed once, but there was no humor in it. So my entire heartbreak was useful to somebody. Their mother started crying again. Your soulmate kept reading. The deeper they went into the folder, the uglier the truth became. There were dates matching some of the worst moments in your relationship. A private family meeting happened only days before one of the biggest arguments between you and your soulmate. Another meeting happened just before your soulmate was told you wanted distance. And then there was a payment record. Your soulmate stared at it. A large amount of money had been transferred to the same person whose name appeared in the confession. Their blood ran cold. What was this payment for? Their mother looked away. I asked the same question. And? Nobody would answer. Your soulmate pushed the document toward her. Someone was paid? I don't know exactly why. You know more than you're saying. Their mother shook her head. I know what I discovered. I don't know how far it went. Your soulmate stood. Then you'll find out. Their mother quickly grabbed their arm. Please don't go there angry. Your soulmate pulled away. Angry? Their voice cracked. They stole years from me. Their mother's tears returned. I know. No, you don't. Your soulmate pointed toward the letters. You got to know where they were. You saw them standing in this house. You saw them trying to reach me. I woke up every day believing I wasn't worth fighting for. Their mother lowered her eyes. And they woke up believing I didn't want them. Your soulmate pressed a hand against their chest. Do you understand what that does to a person? Their mother whispered, I'm sorry. But your soulmate was already looking back at the folder. There was another document underneath. This one contained a copy of an old statement. Someone had claimed you were only interested in the relationship because of the family's money. Your soulmate's face tightened. They remembered hearing that accusation years ago. They had defended you. But slowly, after enough people repeated it, doubt had entered their mind. Now they saw something they had never seen before. The statement was dated 2 weeks before anyone outside the family supposedly knew about the property arrangement. Your soulmate stared at the date. That doesn't make sense. Their mother nodded. That's when I started realizing someone had planned the accusation. Because you could not have been chasing information you supposedly did not know. The dates proved it. Someone had created the story first, then built circumstances around it. Your soulmate whispered, "They made me suspicious of the one person who never asked me for anything." Memories rushed back. You had never cared about expensive places, never pressured them about money, never asked what they would inherit, never treated their family's status like it mattered. In fact, your strongest moments together had been simple. Long drives, quiet dinners, sitting together talking about a future nobody else could see. Suddenly your soulmate remembered something you once said. "I don't need what your family has. I just need them to stop deciding whether I'm allowed to love you." At the time, your soulmate thought you were being emotional. Now those words sounded like a warning. You had seen something they had not. You knew people were interfering. And nobody believed you. Your soulmate shut the folder. "I need to find them." Their mother nodded slowly. This time she did not try to stop them. But as your soulmate reached the door, she spoke again. "There's one more reason you need to be careful." Your soulmate turned. "The person named in those papers knows I found them." The air changed. "How?" "They came here yesterday." Your soulmate's eyes widened. "Yesterday?" Their mother nodded. "They asked whether I had opened the old cabinet." "What did you say?" "I lied." For the first time that day, your soulmate saw genuine fear in their mother's face. "They told me the past should stay buried." Your soulmate stepped closer. "And then?" "They asked whether you still thought about you." Your soulmate's jaw tightened. "What did you tell them?" "I said no." "Why?" "Because I saw their face when they asked." A chill went through your soulmate. Their mother continued. "They weren't curious. They were afraid." "Afraid of what?" "That you would reconnect." Your soulmate stared toward the folder. That meant whoever had separated the two of you was still worried. After all these years. Still watching. Still concerned that one conversation between you and your soulmate could expose everything. Your soulmate whispered, "Then they know where you are." Their mother froze. The realization hit both of them at the same time. If this person knew you had sent a recent letter, if they knew you had discovered proof, then they might already know where you were staying. Your soulmate immediately pulled out their phone. They stared at the address on the envelope. Their hearts started racing. "What are you doing?" "I'm calling." "There's no number." "There has to be a way." Your soulmate searched the name of the location written on the envelope. A small place. Not far. A location they could reach. But before they could do anything else, their phone rang. Unknown number. Your soulmate stared at the screen. Their mother looked terrified. Don't answer. Your soulmate answered, silence. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then a voice came through. Quiet. Shaking. Familiar. Your soulmate's entire face changed. Because even after years, there are some voices the heart recognizes before the mind can catch up. Your soulmate whispered your name. The person on the other end stopped breathing. Then came a soft response. Yes. Your soulmate nearly dropped the phone. Every speech they had imagined giving you disappeared. Every accusation. Every question. Every prepared sentence. Gone. All they could say was, "Is it really you?" There was another pause. Then your voice came again. I didn't know if you would ever read what I sent. Your soulmate closed their eyes. Tears began immediately. I read it. Their mother turned away, crying silently. Your soulmate continued. I read everything I was supposed to have read years ago. Silence. Then your voice cracked. So now you know I didn't leave you. That sentence destroyed them. Your soulmate covered their mouth. No. Their knees weakened. I know now. There was so much pain inside those 3 words that neither of you spoke for several seconds. Years of misunderstanding stood between 2 people connected by 1 phone call. Then your soulmate whispered, "Why didn't you tell me again?" A broken laugh came through the phone. I tried. I know. I kept trying until I started believing you really didn't want me. Your soulmate's tears fell harder. I never said that. I know that now too. The symmetry of the tragedy became unbearable. Both of you had discovered the truth separately. Both had learned you had been manipulated. Both had spent years believing the wrong version of the same ending. Your soulmate pressed the phone closer. Where are you? Your answer was quiet. At the address on the letter. I'm coming. Immediately, your tone changed. No. Your soulmate froze. What? Don't come here. Their mother turned back toward them. Your soulmate's expression filled with confusion. Why? You hesitated. And when you finally spoke, fear entered the room. Because someone was here asking about me this morning. Your soulmate looked at their mother. The folder. The payment record. The confession. Everything connected. Who? You did not answer immediately. Your soulmate repeated, "Who came looking for you?" Then you said the name. The exact same name written in the confession. Your soulmate gripped the phone. What did they want? They wanted the evidence. What evidence? You took a breath. The evidence that proves they were paid to destroy our relationship. Your soulmate stopped cold. What do you have? A recording. Their mother's face went pale. Your soulmate whispered, "A recording of what?" You answered carefully, "A conversation from years ago." The person admits why they had to separate us, who told them to do it, and what they were promised in return. Your soulmate could barely breathe. Who told them? You paused. Too long. Your soulmate knew the next answer was going to hurt. Tell me. Your voice dropped. The person who started this was not the person whose name you found. Your soulmate stared at their mother. What? They were only carrying out the plan. Then who planned it? You were silent again. Your soulmate's frustration rose. Please. I've lost enough years to silence. Just tell me. Finally you said, I will. But not over the phone. Why? Because I don't know who is listening anymore. Your soulmate looked around the room instinctively. The house suddenly felt different. Not safe. Not familiar. Full of secrets. You continued. If you still want the truth, meet me somewhere public. Your soulmate did not hesitate. Tell me where. You gave them a location. A quiet cafe near an old church. A place neither family had any connection to. Your soulmate grabbed the folder. I'm leaving now. Their mother approached. I'm coming with you. Your soulmate shook their head. No. You shouldn't go alone. I have been kept from making my own decisions long enough. Their mother stopped. Your soulmate softened slightly. I need to hear this from them without anyone between us. Their mother nodded through tears. Your soulmate reached the door. Then the phone buzzed. A new message. Not from you. Unknown number. Your soulmate opened it. There was no greeting. No explanation. Only a photograph. A recent photograph of you. Taken from across the street. Your soulmate stared at the screen. Underneath the picture were 8 words. If you go to them, everything gets exposed. Your soulmate felt their stomach drop. Then another message arrived. This time there was an attachment. A scanned page. Your soulmate opened it. Their mother leaned closer. And both of them went silent. Because the page contained a signature your soulmate recognized immediately. A signature belonging to someone they had trusted even more than the person already exposed. Someone who had been present through every stage of the heartbreak. Someone who had comforted your soulmate after you disappeared. Someone who had repeatedly said, maybe it was meant to end. Your soulmate zoomed in on the signature. Their hands began shaking. Their mother whispered, "Oh God." Because suddenly the betrayal was no longer outside the closest circle. It had entered it. Your soulmate looked at the message again. Then at the cafe address you had given them. They knew they had a choice. Stay home and remain safe inside the lie. Or walk straight toward the person they had never truly stopped loving and finally uncover who had signed away years of their lives. Your soulmate opened the door. But before they could step outside, a car slowly pulled up in front of the house. The driver did not get out. The engine remained running. Then the back window lowered. Your soulmate's mother grabbed their arm. Because sitting inside that car was the one person neither of them expected to see. The person whose signature was on the document. And they had come for the folder.